Alright, welcome to the stream, everyone. Let's go ahead and just let this play in the background while we get everything situated. How is everyone doing today? By the way, this is what we created yesterday, in yesterday's stream, the completed version of it. Well, welcome. Welcome, Glorious. Let me go ahead and get my streamer mode turned on Discord. Otherwise, I'll get a bunch of notifications. You guys will hear that. Alright. So today I want to kind of play around with some just like animating like graphics. Alright, sorry about that. Welcome. So yeah, I want to make like a kind of like an edit page graphic. So I'll have like a few different like video track layers and then the playhead. I think that'd be kind of a cool look. Well, thank you. Anyways, let's go ahead and grab a background. So my idea here is to make a few of these. We'll add a corner radius. There we go. Welcome, X Studio. How is everyone doing today? But then my plan is to duplicate these layers. I want the middle one to actually be right in the middle there. Oh, I see. There we go. Can just start with that. What mic do I have? I have the Editor's Keys SL600 microphone. There's a link down below, where it says buy the keyboard that I use. It'll take you to their website, and you can find the thing there. My keyboard and mic is all by the same company, so. But what we can do then is have these like offset. I saw a similar style to this where they're like kind of moving back and forth. They'll have a playhead that like cuts down the middle of them. So I'll make these kind of like a grayish color. It'll be a little transparent. And we can go ahead and make our playhead right away. So I think for this, we'll use a... Whoops. We'll just scale this down. Can put the height at whatever we want. Maybe a little wider still. I have the 2080 Ti. So according to the rumors right now, it's gonna be able to be, or there's gonna be a faster card for $500 now. I think that's the 370 or 3070. Because Nvidia just released all their new graphics cards. That's kind of exciting, except for the fact that mine's outdated now. MSI, yep, I do. GTX 1660 Super. I'm actually not sure about that. I talked to John's Films about that. He's done all the benchmark stuff. I have not. But I'm not actually sure what the difference is. You're saying GTX 1660? I mean, that sounds right, but I'm not sure. And I don't know which point's what here, so I'm kind of getting confused. Let's go like that. Okay, the Y values of these need to be the same. So here, if we do 0.5 minus 0.2, how far? Oh, wait. 0.5 minus 0.02. That might be a little much. So I'm just trying to get the exact same distance between these. So now I can go 0.5 plus 0.015. So now they're both offset the same. If that makes sense. So we could do that and add a little bit of a border to it. So it's rounded. That looks pretty good. Okay. Is there any way to open the search bar in Fusion without Shift Spacebar? You can do Control Spacebar. And yeah, you can change it. That is right. Let's see. Preferences. No. That actually might be under the Fusion keyword stuff. Where's the Fusion? Here it is. Fusion. Yeah, I don't think it's in that. Fusion settings. But I believe it is somewhere in here that you can change it. Yeah, like you said, right click, add tool, and then you have all these. But that's not as easy as just typing it. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and hook this up. So now we have this. And what we can do is add a transform after these nodes. Like that. Does that not work? Okay, we can't do that. Maybe, for some reason you can't put the transform into the mask input, the rectangle. But if we put it back into a bitmap, aha, there we go. I don't know if that's necessary, but now we can move it, like in unison. So let's go ahead. I think, would it be cool if these things all like drew out? That could be kind of cool. Let's go through and add a keyframe on the width. Bring that down. After watching the After Effects tutorial, that's kind of crazy. How to get the search bar in After Effects, or like the one in Davinci? Because the one in After Effects is called, what is it called now actually? Effects Console by Video Copilot. That was one of the tools that I loved about it, or that I used all the time. Yep, that's it. I have it set to default though. If you come into the Fusion settings, if you come to the flow, if you check arrange to grid, it'll default to that. So if you have that unchecked, it's unchecked by default, but I have it so it's always checked. 'Cause I kind of like that a little better. That'd be cool if we could do like a break apart animation. I think we'll go ahead and do that. Let's animate this one more time here. Alright, let's go ahead and smooth all these out then. We'll just come and hit F. And I think we could even offset some of them so that they don't all like stop at the same time. This in the Keyframes Editor here. All right. Effects console, yep. Yeah, that's a really helpful tool because I hated the thing in After Effects where I had to go over to the effects library and search for it over there compared to Davinci or Fusion. All right. Now I gotta animate this thing down. Could we just like compress it? I don't really like that look though. Maybe if we just animate this rectangle up. So let's have it out by here. And we'll just move this all the way up. And bring the height down. So now when now it should look like it extends. Yeah, it looks like it extends from the triangle. Let's go ahead and check this out now. 12:15 a.m. Wow. That's kind of late or early. Whichever way you look at it. Yours 9:46. For me it's 1:46. Big time zone difference here. There we go. How do you guys like that? We'll go ahead and animate that triangle on. We'll figure out how we want to do that. Let's see if it's not solid. We just up the border width. I mean, that looks fine. So what we'll do is on this frame, we'll just go ahead and adjust the length. Maybe. I kind of like the solid look better. "3:47 p.m. here in Brazil. Welcome to the stream. Alright, does anyone have any suggestions on how to get rid of the playhead up here? We could just have it like come on from the side. Like right here. Then it'll come over here. And it'll be off to the side. Go ahead, ease it in a bunch. Doesn't look quite right. Hey, lots of people from India today. Welcome. It just seems a little too fast to me. Let's go ahead and bring that down. Doesn't like slow down enough. There we go. So should we like split it right there then? And it like cuts the clips in half? I think that'd be kind of cool. Like as it comes down, it breaks them. So let's actually set all of these to be the last keyframe on this frame. And then go ahead and select all these frames. Delete them. So now it stops moving. This one continues. Let's fix that. There. Okay. And then my plan is to have, let's move that up. Take a background, just make this transparent. And we can then merge this one up. We'll make two separate merge nodes, both merging up with the background separately. So like that. And then they merge up on top of the background like that. Okay. Kind of a complicated system here. Okay, is that right? So, this needs to come in as the foreground, merging it up. So now what we can do is go ahead and add a mask. And what we'll do is just have this on the center. So bring the width to like 0.5 and set the center to 0. Actually, no, the width needs to be at 1. All right. We'll copy that. Actually, no, we can just connect this into the merge one over here. Go ahead and do apply mask inverted. So now we can move it, we can split it directly in half. And we need all this to be separate now. Let's delete that. Let's go ahead, put this into a background that is the same color as that. There. Hello? I'm getting notifications that my OBS cut out. Are we back online here? Maybe. Let me know. Hey, welcome. Can you hear me? Because the stream just dipped a lot. I'm wondering what's going on. It did cut out? Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what that was. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I do the follower, I'm going to hook up this rectangle. Make it so that when it goes behind that, it will disappear. Alright, I'm back. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and animate this. Go ahead and add the first keyframe here, actually. Boom. And we'll bring the Y value down. Yeah. And we can go ahead and add a bit of a delay. And ease this in. Okay, and let's go ahead and zoom this in. So let's set my pivot point to be at the center of the text so that it all will rotate right around this. That's looking pretty good. Now we can zoom in. Can rotate it. Yeah, that'll stay at pretty much the center. Could even move this off to the side just a little. Let's try that. Go ahead and ease everything out. I think that looks pretty good. I think it all needs to happen a little sooner though. Zoom to fit. So we need transform 1. Right? No. Our text node and transform 3. That's what we need. So transform 3 is going to happen a little bit sooner. So right about there. Could even make it a little bit longer. And then if we come down to the text, let's go ahead have this happen a little sooner as well. There we go. So now we have that coming up. I think that looks pretty good. And then I gotta think of what to do next here. I want it to like transform into motion graphics then. So we could have all of it kind of pan off to the side, kind of slow. But has some kind of intense motion blur maybe. So like a directional blur. So if we get this right. So this has a lot of motion blur. All right. Welcome to the stream. I'm actually not sure what I'm just going to leave it at about that. There we go. Just working on some motion graphics here. If anyone has any questions, I will do my best to answer them. And what I think I'm going to do is have motion graphics come up then. So we'll start with motion. Add and enter. Graphics. Let's do that, bring down the line spacing. I'm going to go ahead and delete graphics from here. Go ahead and get my font set up. Add graphics to this one. And we'll just have 2 separate layers. Boom. I'll scale this down. Let's actually change the font to regular. I want my composition to be a little longer. There we go. And now what we'll do is, as this transforms coming over the motion graphics, text will come on. So we'll do this using a follower. Go ahead and keyframe the position. There we go. Let's ease this in. I will DM you something on Discord and you can tell me if it's possible for you to make in Davinci. Alright, that sounds good. Let me look for that. I'm gonna just mute this so that I don't get copyright claimed. So it looks like you just have like a draw on animation. Did you make that in After Effects? Or wait a minute. Yeah, did you make that in After Effects? Come up here, we'll add a delay. Be a little faster. Don't want this to be quite as big. Let's go ahead and set this to be only selected tools, just so we can see it a little better. There we go. Someone made it for you? Okay. Let me just finish this up, this animation, and then we'll try to create that. Okay, so once it gets to about here, we'll start animating on the graphics text. So let's come, where's the pivot point? That's in position. Need to add a keyframe to that. For the followers, you need to have a keyframe for it to apply. And we'll also add a keyframe on the X. So now we can just bring the pivot point up a bit. That looks like it swings off the text pretty good. So let's leave it at that. Go ahead and do -90 degrees. That should disappear. Come down a little bit. And I'll go ahead and do the swing text animation that I've done before. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. That has kind of a nice swing animation, but let's come to the Spline Editor and go ahead and hit S just to smooth it all out. And it's the trick that I say is if it's going up and then down like that, and you want, for making like bounce animations, if it's going up and down, you hit S, but if it's just going up, then you hit F. So there we go. I think that looks pretty good. But so the S is not going with it for some reason. So what we have to do is come over to the text and then just add a space on both sides so it stays in the same position but it'll update it so that that one goes. Don't know why it does that. It's kind of unfortunate that it does, but that's the only fix that I have found. All right. Actually, we should also add the directional blur after the fact here. So it comes up. Actually, instead of that, let's just add motion blur inside of the text nodes. That way it's more accurate to its motion. We can make it pretty intense too. Okay, let's go ahead and get a render of this. And then I'll go ahead and make that like draw on text animation. It's taking a little bit longer to render now that the text nodes have motion blur on them. But once we get a render, then we can see what it looks like in real time. Can actually... Nah, we'll just leave it. I might want to get all this. I might want to speed it all up eventually. Let's go ahead and work on that writing animation here quick. Does anyone know a font that has pretty rounded edges? But for now, I'm just going to go through all of them until I find one that I like. That one, actually. That one will work. Okay, so for the effect that you wanted, it's like a drawing on, but it has like color trails. So let's go ahead. You'll want to use a mask paint node. And we'll grab a polygon stroke. And go ahead and outline the text. Okay. So do that, and I think we'll just make one for each of the different text nodes then. Let's go ahead, view that. We'll bring up the brush size, can bring down the softness maybe. And put this as a mask into the text. What you do is you just bring it down then until it starts eating away at it. And now, we can come down to the stroke controls and have a draw on effect, okay? So what I'll do is I'll make one of these mask paints for each of them. And they can all feed into each other. Let's disconnect that for now. Polygon stroke. And we'll have it come up and do the A. Yeah, you can definitely send me a link on Discord. Go right ahead. And then we can look into how to do that. Okay, there we go. And now with this one, let's go ahead and test out the stroke. So that comes out. See, now that's when we want it to be as accurate as possible here, or as small as possible. So we could shrink it. Let's bring it back to that size and just go through. Change it to modify only. Where is that? Here. Modify only. We'll go ahead and just try and keep it more in the center. And away from the, or away, closer to the outside. There we go. So now when we do the write on, it should be a lot more accurate. Okay. Does DaVinci Resolve has those text to animation transitions like the ones in the switch scenes or something? Text animations to switch scenes. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Let me go ahead and check out this video you sent me quick. Okay, so that video, are you meaning just like the circles in the background, or as well as those like white lines that were coming by? I think it's possible. I just want to know what you all want to make. Yeah, I don't think DaVinci Resolve has built-in presets. You might be able to find some transitions, like a transition pack from someone. Let's actually view the text over there. Oh, we can't do that based on how it's set up. Okay, never mind. There we go. Let's hook this back up. Bring the softness down and bring the size up until it's just coming over there. Test out the stroke. That seems to work pretty nice. So yeah, with this process, it's just kind of tedious. But I'm guessing you've seen a tutorial on how to do this part of it before. But we'll get to the part where it has like the different colored lines being drawn. Boom. The depth of movement from the circles and the camera movement. Okay. Is there any dedicated site from where I can install DaVinci presets? There's Motion Array. Motion Array has a bunch, but I think a bunch of those are paid. But yeah, at the moment there's still kind of a demand for DaVinci Resolve products. There's not a ton of them out there. Just because it's relatively new. Okay, now we have all this done. So let's go through and add keyframes on all of these to animate. So here we go. It draws it out. That's going to need to be a little bit faster. Let's go ahead, select all tools. Go ahead and ease these. Then we can come into the Keyframes Editor. Expand them all. Now we can just select the last point and drag it in. So let's say we want to do that, but then you wanted to have those color trails, correct? So let's go ahead and try and do that. So what we'll do, let me just think this through. Let's have a transparent background that we can merge this up with. And what we'll do is we'll put all the colors into background nodes. There, so now if we view this off to the side, let's make our first color red. We'll create another background. Let's make the next color like a bluish. And then the last one will be white. So let's go ahead. We actually don't need to put it into a background. We can just merge it up. But then what we do is put in a time speed node. Time machine. What is that? That must be a plugin that I installed. Huh, okay. I did not mean to install that if I did. Maybe it's a new feature I'm just missing. So anyways, the time speed node. Let's view this one. And we'll go to where it's like drawing on. And we'll go ahead and add, let's say, like a 2-frame delay. And then the last one we can add like a 4-frame delay. So that's how I would go ahead and add in that animation. Is that what you're looking for? That's actually a kind of cool effect. I like that. Alright, let me check out that video again that you sent me. Okay. Let's go ahead and start working on that particle thing. Never thought of something like that. That looks great. Thank you. But yeah, hopefully that solves your question. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next thing now. So it's that background. That background he sent me. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just gonna recreate the colors. And I'm gonna add an ellipse here. Put a soft edge on of 1. If I can type, there we go. There. Now, that's gonna be a lot of circles, so I have to figure out how to optimize it. I think I know a way. So let's grab a circle, put it into a background. Put an expression on the height, so we can just shrink it like that. Uncheck show view controls so we can see it. This one will be the biggest circle, so let's bring it all the way off to the side here. And then we can add a duplicate node. Let's say do 20 copies and bring the size down. Adjusting the pivot point like that. So it'll eventually just get smaller until it fades out. And then we could add another duplicate, set it up so the angle, put an expression, and do 360 divided by copies. So now we can just add a bunch of copies. Let me check. Yeah, it will be live on my channel, so it'll take like probably like 7 hours to process. For some reason. Well, I guess it kind of has to do that. But anyways, 7 hours and then it should be live. Okay, so all the circles are going down. Or they're like moving in and scaling down. So I think what I could do is add in a transform and then just scale this down. But then add a duplicate node after that. I'll make a few copies. So let's go ahead and animate this. And in the duplicate node, we just need to scale it up a little bit. No, that's not going to work, actually. Let me rethink this. You want to start motion design on Davinci? Yeah. Motion design is a lot of fun to do. A lot of fun. So let's do a transform node right away. And go ahead and scale this down. Now add a duplicate node. Adding a bunch of copies and scaling it up just a little. But the problem with that is it stops. Oh, here we go. So instead of doing the size, just adjust the time offset. So let's add a nice time offset here. So it does something like that, but the original transform then would have to scale it so it's past, like, out of the screen. We don't want that key. Oh yeah, we do want that one. So let's go ahead and scale this down. And then also in the ellipse, let's go ahead, add a keyframe on the level so that it fades off. I feel like that's not quite right still. Let me look at this. So you can adjust the spacing then just by the time offset and the duplicate. And then we'll need like 30 copies or more. And let's just go ahead and bring the pivot point over so it's not quite as severe of an angle. And now let's add the duplicate that has the expression. That is copies divided by, no, 360 divided by copies. So now we can just up this. And we kind of have it. Just got to give it a second to render. Yeah, doing your best. That's the best thing you could do. All right. We'll get a render of this here in a second. So I guess that looks pretty close to what you were thinking. Then you could just have the circles be like a color like that. So what do you think about that? Was there something else? Talking about the depth and the movement from the circles and the camera movement. Let's check that out. Okay, so for the camera movement, that should be kind of easy. Camera shake. Not this one. Camera shake, the one that doesn't have the thing in parentheses next to it. Can go ahead and render that out. Looks nice so far. I'm glad. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Oh no, looks like it. Can't. Oh, never mind. We're good. So it is kind of an intensive effect, and there's not really too much you can do about that. But you see that there's like a little bit of camera shake now. And we can adjust the motion, the speed, the amount of blur that there is. So we can adjust all the settings to get the kind of shake that we want. So we'd want a slow speed but kind of a high motion scale. A little faster just so we can kind of see it. But then you go through and composite your text and graphics on top of all this. And you might want to render it out using a saver node. There, this motion looks pretty nice. Hey, welcome, Mark. Right now I'm just recreating this effect, or this background from a video that was sent to me. So I think that looks pretty good to get all the camera movement and stuff. So how do you think that looks? Is that solving your question? But we're gonna go ahead. So Mark had mentioned to me a typewriter effect before. So let's figure out how to make a cool typewriter effect. So the thing that would be complicated about it would be the underscore or something that you have. Like, if we view this, having the blinking underscore. Like something like that. Or having a blinking cursor. I'm just using my keyboard to do this right now. But we gotta figure out a way so it does that automatically. So like after every letter or something. So this will be kind of fun to figure out. Also complicated, so I'm open to some suggestions. Because we can use the right on effect here. My computer is kind of freezing up here. Wondering what's causing that. Let me just close some stuff out here. Could also just be the fact that I'm streaming. Okay. So we have the typewriter effect. or the write-on effect that we can just bring out. Let's come up. I believe that there is a typewriter setting or a title. I don't think those are right. I think it's some that I made. Let's think here. Let me look something up. We're gonna go ahead and grab something that somebody else made just to see how they went ahead and did it. Okay, I actually just found another video that has a template. It's by Digital Vector Studios. But let's go through and break down the title, and I'll show you guys how to build it. Let me find the download here real quick. Let's go ahead, view this. It's gonna extract it. Okay, so we have a text file here that has all the info that we need. So let's just copy this. And how that works is if we come in Fusion and we paste that, it will grab the nodes. So let's check this one out. So it looks like a pretty simple node setup. Oh, wait a minute. That actually kind of makes sense. How he has it set up, I believe. Well, actually, no, this isn't what I was thinking. So let's check it out. So the note here says, move the blinking cursor location to the end of your text line. End of your text line, change that. Okay, so how this works is he has an animation where it'll come on and then come off, and it uses a follower node to go through and add this. Let me send you the link to his product just so I can give credit. So here's the preset. If that's what you're looking for. Okay. And if we come into the blinking cursor, we can adjust the speed of it, it looks like. So this is the O. Not exactly sure how this works. He has a tutorial on it that you can go and watch as well. So I think I'd have to watch that. There's nothing set. Let's go and check what he has. Does he even have anything tied to that is what I'm wondering. He has that one tied to it. This is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure how we did it, but this is a way that you could get that effect. And you can just take out the scan lines if you didn't want that, and the soft glow. Now you have that. But yeah, I'm not sure how that's set up. But I had seen he had made a tutorial on it, so I'm going to go through and watch that later. If you go to his website, then go to his video. And in the description of that video, there's a link to his tutorial. Alright. Anyways, I think we'll continue working on this a little bit. This is just kind of a fun little project. We'll set the text color to be the same as these ones. Boom and boom. Sound, motion graphics, text is the same. You'll watch the video. Okay. Great. Yeah, sorry. I have no clue as to how that works. I'll have to dive into that. Okay, so now I want to work on like a background for this. So let's go ahead and hide that. And I want to make like a particle kind of like background thing. Okay, so let's grab some particles first. And put this into a merge node. Okay. So let's set the region to be a rectangle with a good amount of width and height. Not as much height, just like a width of 2. And we'll just drag this down until it is off screen. Can actually go ahead and give this some rotation. And then we will add some velocity to shoot it upwards. Let me adjust the angle. So it's kind of fast, so maybe we could slow it down a little bit. I also want to add a directional force. Can bring the strength down for that. I actually don't know if we want to do that because we just want it to go up. We'll add a turbulence. And that'll just add a little bit of variation. It's a very cool intro. Hey, thank you. Glad you like it. I'm not sure if I'll use it, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and make a low-res particle. So we'll set this to white, and how we do it is we'll come into the ellipse, and we'll set this to be 1. Then in the background, we'll uncheck auto resolution and connect the height to the width. So now we can bring it down until it's like 65 pixels by 65 pixels. We could even go smaller than that. And in the emitter, we can set this to bitmap. Now we can have that come in. And as you can see, we can still bring this size down a lot. But it has to have probably at least 11 pixels. And then we can bring the size down over here. We might be able to get away with bringing it down to like 6 or 7. every pixel that we remove now, it loses a lot of detail, so I think we'll bring it back up to like 9. Let's bring this down. Let's come over here and do pre-generate frames. And enough so that the screen is full. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. What happened? Why did it disappear? Oh, I disconnected that. So now, let's go ahead and merge this up all the way over here. Switch the input, and now we can view it. And I think what we could do is we'll take a fast noise. Bring the detail down, maybe a little bit of contrast. Zoom it in, and make this a lot smaller. What we can do then is also put a mask on it. Add kind of a soft edge. And then we could throw this into a duplicate 3D. That needs to go into an image plane first. Forget about that. Let's just scale this down. And then we should just be able to up the copies. And then play around with the jitter position. And bring the copies up to like 400. Let's go ahead and remove some of the contrast. We're just gonna try and create some like clouds. Some clouds or something. There. Now do we need 1,000 copies of it? Because that'll really slow stuff down. I think we'll also slow down the particles. Bring the number down. Just have a few particles like floating around there. We can go ahead and just kind of like randomize the motion. I wonder what the best way to do this would be. Maybe just add like a camera shake. Or in the duplicate node, can we just add slight expressions to this here? Shake. Have the minimum be like 0.3. I want this to be pretty smooth. This could be a little buggy on the system, or then a little slow. Yeah. Alright, well, I think I'm going to end the stream for today. Maybe do another one in the next few days. But thanks to everyone who watched.